The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
I'm so mad I forgot to add us back into the stream because I got distracted by you. Oh, just by a hair. Just by a half a second. Just do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do. A rump him's gay. Hello there, welcome back to Knights of the Nerd Republic, the show where your favorite nerds sit down and talk all things of the galaxy far, far away. I am your host, Jared the Dark Jedi Bachman Stubbs, and joining me are these two lovable fucking bozos. We got the Gungan Sith Lord Levi Bong. And we got Darth Id, Mike Doling.
I'm not trying to seduce you.
Levi, sing words. Okay, you're good.
Should I sing the words?
I just needed to know if you were speaking or not, or if you were coming through your mic. And
Me?
Yeah, you're good. I had the headphones on for 30 seconds. And got you.
Did you ask me to actually sing?
No, I was
the
asking
Macarena?
you to say words.
Oh,
to make sure you.
Because I actually know the words.
I do not.
Of what, the Macarena?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
In Portuguese.
Yeah, I don't know what they mean, but I can sing it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like that 7-year-old kid on The Voice who beat the shit out of AC/DC. Did you see that?
No.
What?
Yeah.
Like he sang an AC/DC song. And
Yeah, he sang Highway to Hell.
Oh,
he didn't sound better, but yeah, he killed it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I love hearing stories like that. Every year I'm like, this is gonna. I gotta get back into watching shit like The Voice, and then I never do. It's like every year's the year I'm finally gonna really get into football, but because of you, I'm getting closer and closer every year.
We gotta actually watch a game together.
I agree.
Because being together for the game, that is the experience, not the football itself. In my opinion.
Yeah, it's like going to a Pirate game. Nobody cares about the game. It's just about eating the fries.
No one cares.
I like going to Pirate games.
They're fun. It's
I
a nice atmosphere. PNC Park is great.
It's incredible.
It's like the best ballpark in the States, I think people say.
It's better,
the nicest one.
Better than the team that plays in it.
Nobody cares about that.
Whenever my family had our little weekend in Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago, we even did the Gateway Clipper boat tour thing.
Yeah.
And the tour guide, he got a big laugh because he was like, and there is PNC Park where you can see your favorite baseball team absolutely humiliate the Pittsburgh Pirates. Very, very funny. And there was a ha 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 pitter out into sadness because everyone was like, they're not wrong.
They've been doing good against the Marlins.
Yeah, I saw that.
Good comeback on Thursday, and Friday they beat them. Yeah. Good for you, Pirates.
Good job on the sports balls. We don't really have any news this week. There was another casting edition on Andor, and that is the only bit of news that we have. Guy from Chernobyl is in Andor now. Not actual Chernobyl. He's not radioactive, but he was in the HBO show. We do have an episode of The Bad Batch to talk about. One that I was very much looking forward to talking about and hoping and praying Levi would have time to be on for, because it's funny watching him get angry. But first, Mike, thoughts on this week's Bad Batch?
I thought, because I watched half of it last night, and then I got really tired. Then I watched the rest of it this morning. But I stopped at the part whenever they first encountered Trace and Rafa, and I'm just like, wait a minute, this factory stuff, this just reminded me of my job. I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back there in my entertainment. I'm just like, well, what if somebody had broke into my factory and demanded a bunch of like plans for like schematics or like programs for foam cutting. I'm
These
like, what
were-
would people even do?
They
Like,
demanded a specific piece of foam. They're like,
half of the people would probably fight like hell. The other half would be like, I don't care, just take it. Then take it. But then like I'm like, oh god, I don't want to get reminded of. But then I was watching that. I did that. And then I mean it was all right. I thought it was kind of dull a bit. Like every time that I think the Trace people, the sisters, they're kind of like, you know, but it's like, it's funny. They're like all of these side characters having come together into this magical quest thing. So it's kind of weird. It was like, but it was okay.
yeah,
I'll probably think of more stuff to say as we go along.
I am intrigued about where this is all going. And we're gonna talk about more of it, especially that little stinger at the end. But like there's the choice made with Trace and Rafa in this episode, beyond just having them, but like the implication that they're part of the birth of the rebellion really surprised me. Like that was not the direction I thought they would be going in as characters.
Because they were, what were they both like smugglers?
They were just like, they were like scoundrel type
criminal
characters.
People. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like the scoundrel type thing. So I was really surprised, and I don't know if like I was elated for it to be like, oh, they're part of the rebellion. But whenever a story choice, especially with Star Wars, is made that makes me go, okay, not where I thought that was going.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm like, okay, you won me over by surprising me. Because Star Wars at times can be so painfully predictable.
Yeah, that's a sad thing. Like, I wish that Star Wars could more so, and that's what I think of the problem with the sequels. They kind of get into that nostalgia trap, and it's just really like detrimental. That's kind of the beautiful thing about what Episode 8 did with Snoke dying. But yeah, you are right about that. But then it's like, but I like though whenever they put. I mean, this is just going back to the episode before that with the Rancor. I love how they can connect things subtly.
Yeah.
And with grace, like how that Rancor was the friggin' thing that Luke.
Well, not necessarily, and that was like part of the controversy.
It's a teenager. It's gonna be the old man by the time of like, you know.
I personally like the idea that the Rancor we see in Jedi and Muchi from last week are two separate Rancors, just for no other reason than I think Muchi was too cute, and I don't want to think about Muchi dying.
Nah, Muchi was the Rancor. Because like you saw how affectionate Bib Fortuna was. It's like, Muchi.
I think he was more excited because like
it didn't sound like Bib though.
I think he was more excited for Jabba than anything. And also like the Rancor is named, like it has the name of Patissa, which is also Hatti's for friend. So
that's just like an affectionate little name, like Cutie Pie.
It's
or
like
Sweetheart.
it's like from what I understand, it's like capital P Patissa.
Oh, that's an actual name.
Like he named it friend
or a nickname.
I am inclined, but there's also the fact that Muchi's a girl and Patisse is a guy. So like there's enough evidence out there to say that they are two separate Rancors, and it's not like Jabba doesn't have the dough to have two at once.
Yeah, or maybe Jabba's like high as hell and like named the thing like drunkenly, high-ishly, not knowing that the name is Muchi.
But either way,
why would they bring a different Rancor then? Are we going to get like a comic book about this stupid freaking Rancor named Muchi now?
I hope.
As the protagonist.
It'll just be in a bunch of grunts.
That would actually be a really, like, in terms of like the comic book medium and the the how comics are done, would kind of be interesting when you're limited to a character that doesn't speak basic and also like isn't going to have like fully formed thoughts going through their head. It's kind of like there was like one issue of Moon Knight from a few years back where like the comic had zero dialogue. And I think it was all also told from like the perspective of like street cameras and like closed circuit TV type shit. I don't remember. I know there's no dialogue. I may be wrong about like the perspective element. Yeah. It's something like that. Like I kind of read that just to see like whoever's writing it.
Muchi joins the rebellion.
Muchi served on Scarif.
Muchi was in Red Squadron.
Standing by.
But no, yeah, I think that like with Star Wars, with like fan servicey type stuff, there is a middle ground that can be reached between like, and like I love Solo. I love Solo, the Star Wars story, and I said this last week that like I don't need like all of like these major things in Han's life to all happen within a day and be in this movie. Like I don't need him. I don't need to see how he got the name Solo. I don't need to see him get the DL-44. I don't need to see why the Millennium Falcon has a divot in it.
Oh, you're talking about Solo now. Okay.
Yeah. Like I don't necessarily need all those things. I like Solo, but those are the things that kind of drag it down for me. Like you can stop after maybe one or two of those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It'd be cooler to see how he got his personality.
Yeah, which we see by the end of the movie, and like that's more what I came for than like here's the day Han got the DL-44. How that?
I wanted to see his Academy days.
Why does it drag it down?
You don't want to see his Academy days?
It's not that
it's like awesome. That's when he flunks out and like goes rogue.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like I don't want to hear about it. I want to see him like crashing TIE fighters and like sleeping with the Admiral's daughter or something. whatever he does.
It's not. It drags it down in that like it gets into that. Like it almost feels like a parody of the Force Awakens level, like nostalgia trip for me at least. That like I don't need to be like, here's how he got the blaster. I don't care where he got the blaster. It's just a blaster. You know, I don't need to see like why the
Solo. That's his magic blaster.
I don't care. It's a blaster, and the way he the way he's so blasé about it, like a good blaster by your side. It's like you don't know if he's had that blaster for a week or his entire life. You know, like I don't need to know about the blaster. I don't need to know why the Millennium Falcon has a divot.
By 5 and 6, right?
I think it carries the same.
It looks different though. Or no, Luke carries something with like a silver tip at the end.
Luke carries a similar one that doesn't have a sight on it. Okay. I only know that because our pals Josh and Andy from Holo Chronicles sent me a kit to build a DL-44. And Spencer was helping me with that a little bit earlier this week, and he was making fun of me because I forgot Han's had a sight on it.
Where's Han?
But yeah, I think like the Moochie thing is a good middle ground for fan servicey type stuff, because like it's not earth shattering to know where Jabba's Rancor comes from, but also it may not even be the Rancor. So it's just like, hey, here's like an odd job getting like something to be a part of Jabba's menagerie in his palace, so that's where I fall on last week's. But Levi, thoughts on this week? Like overall thoughts before we get into the nitty gritty?
Sid is my favorite character in the show.
Yeah, I like Sid a lot.
Yeah. I'm glad she's Sid a Trandoshan or what?
I think she is. I think she's like an older, like frumpier Trandoshan.
Okay.
So like she's not as like like tall and like as Bosk or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah. She's a Trandoshan.
Shut up, Dengar.
Yeah, I like her. Just takes over whenever she's on screen.
It's Danny DeVito's wife who plays her.
Oh, really?
Jesus, imagine what that house is like. Oh my god.
I so hope we get Danny.
Oh, what? Okay.
I so hope we get Danny DeVito Trandoshan.
As a Trandoshan.
Like, yeah, so you guys want to see something really cool?
And I want
check this thing out. Look at these controls here. I ripped it off a hyperdrive panel on a spice freighter.
And I want him to just be playing Frank Reynolds. I just want him to be playing Frank from Always Sunny.
Hey, you guys want to see these crabs, these space crabs I've been fishing out of Kessel? Yeah. Look at that. I'm the crab, man. I do space crabs. I feed them spice so they're extra spicy. Whoa.
He's on Scarab. Suicide is bad.
Like
I can't do the voice.
Engines on a U-wing.
Okay. Whoa.
I can't do the DeVito voice.
I could only do
yeah. I do it and it sounds more like Gilbert Gottfried, but either way,
another voice that needs to be in Star Wars.
My voice will disappear if I do it.
Yes, don't do that. You're going places tonight.
Yeah, this episode was good. I liked it.
It's a good place to start.
Omega.
She almost died in a smelting plant.
I hate that damn bow. I hate that weapon.
Don't like the bow.
I don't like the bow weapon.
Something from Halo.
Where
it does feel very Halo.
Yeah.
It does feel very Halo.
That's what it is.
Sort of like Halo, maybe.
But it's also like
I haven't played much Destiny, but it kind of reminds me of Destiny as well.
It's interesting because most Star Wars weapons, like the way they handle like energy-based stuff, is that it's always like a superheated gas or plasma.
Yeah.
And you rarely ever see somebody like actively manipulating an energy anything.
Yeah, because you'd think their hand would burn off or something.
Yeah, which like
Yeah.
like don't space.
Oh no,
magic,
because
don't
it's
think
like
about it.
there's like a thing that you grab on that's not energy based, right? On
Yeah,
the
like I think like
device.
the string isn't, or there's something. Yeah, I don't. know
I
how
just
the
don't
bow
like that
works.
weapon in general.
That's fair.
Why do they have it? What reason do you have for making a stupid bow instead of just making a blaster like every other species in the galaxy? Why
Because
don't you just do that? For that matter, I'm not a huge fan of Chewie's bowcaster either.
if she has
Sacrilege,
a blaster, she looks like a child soldier. This
Which
way
is
she-
cool!
This way she looks like an elf.
That's cool!
Child soldier!
Dude, one of my favorite anime is called Jormungand, and the main character is a child soldier from the Alpine unit.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
America's going into the war.
She's a clone. She's a soldier. She's a clone. She's already a soldier.
I want. Oh god, I'm gonna just clip you just going. Child soldiers are cool.
Boba's a child soldier in Clone Wars. That's cool.
The Jedi don't have a great track record themselves.
The clones have like
They're all-
expedient growth,
they're all
so
like
like technically
5-year-olds.
they're all
Yeah,
child
Rex is like
soldiers.
4 years old. I
But
don't even think Rex can legally drive in the United States by the time of the Battle of Endor.
It's like he was born on leap year. That's like he's.
That's
And then-
no, that's
baby.
fucking that's completely wrong because that's 19 years later and he's been alive that whole time. I'm stupid.
and then like Echo acting like he knows how to use that weapon. You don't know how to use that weapon because no one uses that stupid weapon except for these slave traders. But then Sid knows how to use the weapon. It's like, whoa.
Oh right, did that
What is
thing,
Sid's story?
Did that
you
thing
know?
come from the Zygerians?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So she's probably a slave at some point. I
Sid?
bet she was a slave. She's got the attitude for it.
I think they make
Trandoshans?
Yeah,
Well, they
I don't
enslaved
think
They
Wookiees,
might have.
Yeah, I
but you
was
can
gonna say.
enslave anyone.
I mean, the Trandosh. I mean, or the Zygerians don't seem very like species specific. They're just gonna take whoever they can.
Yeah.
I get the vibe. Like, I think what they're trying to get at with Sid is that she's just been around the block so many times.
Yeah.
In like the seedy underworld.
I like
it's
that.
Like, yeah,
I
I,
really
can.
like
I've
that.
seen this kind of shit
Yep.
before.
And she's good with it.
Yeah.
So like,
Echo being the one to try to teach Omega how to use a bow weapon is like immediately funny because of the
Yep.
scomp hand, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
yeah, you have Hunter there,
Hunter's right here. Like,
and he's already her father figure, so just let Hunter do it.
I mean, I like seeing all of the clones get to interact with her, but like, did
Oh,
Echo
yeah.
lose a bet? Like, did somebody?
Oh
be like-
yeah.
Did someone just go, "Hey, flash drive hand, go use the bow"?
I should just call him Flash Drive.
Flash Drive.
We are nickname for him now. Flash Drive.
USB.
Flash Drive, get over here.
USB.
I need to download a PDF. I ain't gonna download itself. Well, now we're forgetting the big elephant in the room. Dude, what the hell's wrong with Wrecker?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
Jesus,
Well,
like,
he-
what's
Just
wrong?
tired.
he hit his
Chips
he hit his
turning
head once, like real bad, in
Was
one
it
of
that he
the
hit his
earlier
head and that's
episodes.
starting the chip to turn on?
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it might be like a little bit of both. I feel like the chip was like because they
I just
kind
hope
of.
he doesn't have a tumor.
I
Make
mean,
me sad.
the
hope he doesn't
chips
die
are
of
the
a tumor.
tumors, but like
I'm a tumor.
I think that like Wrecker, like the chip was already trying to turn itself on, and I think like the bonk kind of pushed it over the edge, and like
So
it's
are-
getting worse and worse.
So are all their chips going to turn on eventually?
I don't know.
Well,
Well, they were
Maybe.
talking about how like in that scan that like it feels like most of the bad batches like their chips got messed up because of the genetic tampering.
yeah.
Because like the little like embryonic clone people like come out of the vat already with the chip in them.
Mm-hmm. Well, what is it that they were intentionally deviated with, or that they were just born screwed up?
They were intentionally deviated with,
Okay.
Yeah,
and
they-
that caused the biological chip to malfunction, so that it didn't work when Order 66
Wait,
was
how many chips are there? Is there an inhibitor chip, or is there? No, there's not an inhibitor.
an
It's just called
inhibitor
a-
chip.
yeah.
Are there
What-
two
it-
chips or one chip?
There's
Just
one
one.
chip.
Okay.
It's a biological chip. That's
Right.
why it can't be found with like metal detectors or anything.
But it's like there's and like I know they showed it in the original, but there's a singular thing where you can, if you can zap it or whatever, you can turn it off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that makes them.
like Rex with his little head wound because they had to
Oh, that's right.
fish it out of his head. And I think
And Fives
Wolf,
from season 6.
Yeah, Fives and Wolf
Yeah.
and Gregor all have theirs
Gregor, yeah.
removed. Like all of them grow their hair back out around it, I think, but Rex and Rebels like has a visible scar on the side of his head.
Because he always goes bald, right? Or just he has that like slight blonde.
He has that
thing.
real Slim Shady hair during the Clone Wars, and then like after, I didn't think it was gonna get a laugh. And
Now, will the real Django please stand?
He cannot. He has no head. But Rex, like, he's just straight up bald in the Clone Wars. Like he has that thing that like H Bomber guy has going on right now, where like he went from like having hair to shaving and then having a beard. So like he just like the hair moved down, and he has like the visible scar on the side of his head, likely from whenever Ahsoka removed the chip. And I do want to talk about the implications of the chip, because the little ending stinger has me feeling some kind of way, and I feel like
What's the ending stinger?
like Trace and Roth on that holo call.
Oh yeah,
With
it's
the
got to be
mystery
Obi-Wan.
All right, we can get into it now. You think it's Obi-Wan?
Because I saw part of a hood.
It's definitely a Jedi.
So I was
Probably
thinking
Jedi.
at first, I was thinking Jedi, and then I was like, but maybe it makes more sense if it's Bail Organa, because they're working with the rebellion, and maybe like they're trying to involve like how many Jedi can you burn in this show, right?
This is only like how many weeks after Revenge of the Sith? There's no rebellion yet. I mean, it's still a bunch of like.
It's in the beginning stages though.
When did the rebellion form in the new canon timeline?
They officially are like, we are a thing. We are here to
When?
wreck your shit. Like right before Scarif, like in like season 3 or beginning of season 4 of Rebels,
Okay.
is where they're like, there is a dedicated rebellion. Mon Mothma makes her
Like an organization, like an organized organization.
Yes, like there is a collectivized rebellion against the Empire. Where they like, it begins like the whole Rebel Alliance to restore the Galactic Republic is born, and like Mon Mothma basically declares war on the Empire. Like the badass she
had
is.
more, I think. No, it wasn't that she had extreme dictatorial power at least in the Legends. It was kind of funny. She was basically the dictator of the rebellion.
Yeah,
it was ironic that she.
But I don't know how many Jedi they're going to try to involve. I like the idea of Obi-Wan, but by the same token, like, it would be weird for Obi-Wan to be pulling any strings in the background while he's like.
Nah.
I feel like that's a big risk for him this early after the twins being born. I don't know. It could be Obi-Wan. I was leaning towards Bail.
Oh yeah,
because like Bail wears all like the flowy, long, like he could feasibly be wearing a cape or robe or something like that. And same could be said for Mon Mothma. And that's why I was like,
looked too thick for Mon Mothma.
And that's why I was going Bail, because it looked like
thick robes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Mon Mothma's like a toothpick.
Yeah. Mon Mothma's tiny. She's always been animated tiny. Bail, broader shoulders could be his like cape, and like the robe looking thing could be like the seam on the cape, because I know the one he wears in Revenge of the Sith has that weird like big dramatic diagonal slant to it. And,
maybe it really looked like a cape though, or a hood.
But Wrecker's chip is what's making me feel like it might be a Jedi. I don't know who.
What do you mean, Wrecker's chip? How does that relate to? Oh, because
it's foreshadowing because
he's Jedi that he'll see and he'll like, oh, I gotta kill you. Sorry.
Yeah, like he'll see a robe, see a lightsaber, and then good soldiers follow orders, which makes my hair stand up every time. I get so creeped out by when I hear the clones say that phrase. Like it is not worn off on me yet.
I love how they ripped it off from the Holocaust. It's good that they use history.
Yeah,
because they use history.
The Empire is Nazi Germany, but I part of me doesn't want it to be a Jedi, but
who could it be then? No,
Bail,
it's probably Rom Coda. It's Rom Coda.
The balls! If they're bringing Coda in, holy shit balls!
How cool that show!
He's not canon anymore.
No,
right? Yeah,
technically.
Well, he was kind of never canon.
Yeah.
There's no way you could make those canon even before Disney. Those games.
No, they were canon. Everything,
Yeah.
that was the funny thing. Everything that came out was all part of the canon.
It was
For
all
most of
canon. It was just
Uh.
different canonness.
Some was non-canon, of course, but if you would like go back and read an article about Darth Vader, it would include like everything that anyone had ever written about, and it was just like.
Well, I also think, I mean, with the Force Unleashed in general, and this is kind of tangential, but like there is a way to like make it canon, and it's by expressing like making it clear that the game version of the Force and how the events of the story play out in the novel are two different things. Like the game is very, here's your Force power fantasy, and then the game is just like, oh yeah, Galen's just clever with how he uses the Force. He also gets his ass kicked for most of the book because, like, you know, for this Force god,
he's not very powerful.
It's not that he's not powerful. It's just like it's not that he's a Force god. It's that he thinks of using the Force in ways that other people don't.
So he uses more like creative ways.
Yeah,
and doesn't have to like expend himself. You mean?
Yeah, stuff like you know, here I'm going to cast a bolt of lightning onto my lightsaber and then swing my lightning lightsaber at you, type stuff. Subscribe to the $5 tier on the Patreon to listen to Mara Jade versus Galen Merrick, last month's Versus series entry. I got all my Galen Merrick discourse fresh because we recorded that recently. But yeah, I kind of like the idea of it being a Jedi now because I want to see where it goes with the Wrecker plot line. But I'm curious as to who, because like I don't know how soon into the rebellion Ahsoka's. I mean, that's the other thing is that like Dave Filoni kind of is doing his own thing and not like being super caring with like other canon material right now.
Yeah.
So, you know, like the stuff with Depa Billaba, where like the broad strokes stayed the same, but why'd you change your lightsaber color type stuff? And the way that he tweaked the Siege of Mandalore stuff for Ahsoka. I'm curious as to like, okay, was Ahsoka always a part of the rebellion? Is that where like the connection is? Are Trace and Rafa talking to Ahsoka? Because that would make sense.
That makes okay, and then
makes sense.
Yeah, because Rex was in it earlier, or like mentioned earlier. So then, if
and he's in the trailer,
then it's gonna be okay. That's it.
So Ahsoka's a possibility, but I also don't want there to be more retconning. Like if it happens, it happens.
How is it retconning though?
Because she vanished.
Oh, right after, according to Rebels, you mean? And then
according to the Ahsoka novel by E.K. Johnston, she goes off and does her own thing for a little bit. Before she comes back, before she comes to the rebellion, before she gets like the white lightsabers and shit like that.
Now, is this the rebellion official? Maybe then if this is just her helping some small splinter unit, then maybe it wouldn't count. But
she is using the code name of Fulcrum during the first season of Rebels. Like she's behind the scenes. You don't realize it's Ahsoka until the season finale when she's like, "Hi, I am Ahsoka Tano. Pleased to meet you." But so like. I would like to avoid more retcons, but I also think it's a cool story opportunity for it to be Ahsoka there. So like what happens will happen. But this stinger at the end really like my ears perked up a lot.
Did they ever get the thing? I guess we didn't see it though yet. Did they get that thing that droid had at least some of the information?
Oh,
Did he make another copy, I guess, he's going to give to What's-Her-Face?
No.
I don't know. Well, I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that they were like, we have one copy. You're going to use it to fight the Empire. We don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
Like, this could go to, like, the worst possible outcome.
Yeah, she might
like
just send it to, like, the Emperor. I mean,
the Empire itself, it can make its way back to the Empire. It could go to somebody who isn't trying to fight the Empire to, like, liberate the galaxy. It could go to somebody who just wants to cause
That doesn't make
carnage.
sense, though. The Empire would just take one of the tactical droids because they're in the Empire, and
That's
the
fair.
Empire would take the droid.
That's fair. But
what you mean, like the Empire?
The Empire would not hire bounty hunters to go after a droid that the Empire is disposing of, is what I'm saying.
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah, that makes a lot more sense. You're right.
Unless if it's someone in the Empire who doesn't want them to be destroyed.
That's true.
But that's...
In which case, they would be helping the rebellion too.
Occam's razor, the most simple answer
Unless they had their own agenda.
Typically the answer. So I think Levi's right on that one. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. But yeah, speaking of Trace and Rafa and whom they're taking their stuff to, I am very curious as to how you feel about how they were portrayed in this episode, because I feel like, as somebody who like didn't hate the Mortez sisters, I really liked them here. I was really entertained by them here.
It's okay. I still don't like Rafa at all.
Okay.
But
She's the older one, right?
she's the older one with the hair off to the
Yeah.
side. She's still not nice personality. Trace was always like a likable
Yeah.
person, kind of.
I really enjoyed
less
them
annoying in this episode than in the Clone Wars.
That's fair.
But they're getting well, they never fell out of the habit, but it's just like the same 50 people in the galaxy all know each other.
I quoted you directly last week with the Moochie stuff. I hope you
The
know
will
With the Moochie stuff.
Yeah, talking about like the difference between it's the same 40 people versus like a fun little nugget here. Where like
Mhm.
I was talking about like again, like it's the same people all the time where it makes a galaxy feel kind of small.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, it is.
and
It's fine. It doesn't matter. See, that is what I think is fan servicey. Not the fact that they had a freaking Rancor mission. I think it's like having these characters come up all the time. That's what's fan servicey to me.
yeah.
But Star Wars has always done that.
Yeah.
So it's no different. Just
I don't know.
has no effect on me.
Yeah.
I'm not their biggest fan.
And that's
Um,
fair. You know, it's one of those situations where again, like kind of like the existence of this show is that like people were lukewarm on them during the Clone Wars, and now people are really warming up to them. And granted, I don't need Trace and Rafa to get their own show, but I'm enjoying seeing them here. And again, I think, and we all pretty much agreed on this last year with the season 7 of the Clone Wars, that I don't think the Martez sister arc gets the kind of like frustration and eye rolling at it that it got if it weren't couched in this 12 episode limited final season.
Yeah.
Right. And that while they make it pay off, and like I understand the necessity of the Martez sister arc of like showing Ahsoka seeing of her trying to like still hold up the Jedi as like I love these people, but I can't stay with this organization. But then also seeing their failings out in public and laid bare, I get the importance of it. And like it's a necessary moment. It just kind of slows things down when like everybody's just like, give me the Siege of Mandalore. So getting to see them beyond taking a back seat to like the Ahsoka story, I really liked them here. I like their dynamic. Is it the joke everybody's quoting? Is there an echo in here? Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That was the funniest.
That
shit
was
I've ever
hilarious.
seen.
I had to roll it back. I laughed my ass off. Is there an echo?
She
Yes.
said it, and I stopped, like everything slowed down. I'm like, please go for it, please do it.
And
it's the way he just kind
the
of
fact that he was so ready and so willing to make that joke.
I've been waiting years.
Yeah.
For this.
My time has come.
I guess somebody I don't know how people screen record Disney Plus stuff because it's like impossible to. They make it so that you can't in like the software or the app. And somebody who knows how to get around that, please just, is there an echo in here? Yeah, what's up? But yeah, I really enjoyed the action in this episode as well. There's like a really good firefight. Like I don't normally go for like don't dislike it, but obviously like my preferred type of Star Wars action involves a lightsaber and the Force, less than blasters. But I was really into the blaster play here, like a lot.
Cool. They resurrected droids.
Yeah.
Every
It's getting very hot in here.
every
It
time
is.
every
Sorry.
time Hunter admonished Rafa, I liked.
Yeah.
Dude, when he said like, I should have let the whatever, I should have let the droids have you or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't have saved you from the droids.
I
Yeah.
love their dynamic. I want to see more of them. I really want to see Rafa and Hunter go at odds more throughout the season and or series, not the Caesar. There's no dressing or
Caesar.
emperors here. But
There is going to be a betrayal though.
What do you think Wrecker's gonna betray everyone?
I think someone's getting stabbed 28 times, yeah. Ooh.
Who do you think it's gonna be?
I don't actually think they're gonna have Wrecker kill anyone.
I'd be inconsolable.
That's what I said last week, because whenever we were talking last week, we had Pete from Around the Galaxy on, and he kept talking. We was talking about he's like something horrible is going to happen to Wrecker, and I was like, he better freaking survive it, because if
I don't
Wrecker
think
dies,
Wrecker would survive, but I don't think they're gonna have Wrecker kill any of the main group.
I hope. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna get. What direction they'll go with it. All I know is that something sad is going to happen with Wrecker. and
I
I'm
want
not gonna be
Crosshair
happy.
to come back, like into the fold, into the series. We've been away from him long enough.
Because we haven't really seen what he's up to since episode 2 or something.
Yeah. Now was he putting together like the Death Squadron?
I think.
Those noobs.
I think
was
that
noob
was
soldiers.
his
Operation
unit the prototype?
Warmantle is the beginnings of the Death Trooper program.
Yeah.
And I want to see that is at like the top of my list of shit I want to see more of. I want to see more of the Imperial transition stuff. Like there's again, like they won me over. I'm down to clown with like the Bad Batch going on their fun bounty hunter missions. Please soon cut back to the Imperial transition stuff, because like that's what I'm really excited for. That's what I want to see more of. Especially since it seems like they're establishing these weirder, darker elements of the Imperial military. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement. We like this episode.
Yeah. The joke of that would have been nice to know beforehand is getting old. I'll say that.
Huh?
We have had that joke in the last whole series, so
I wish you would have told me that. I'm sorry. Yeah, Tech is just like really bad at actually explaining what the hell he's doing.
but it wasn't Tech this time.
It wasn't Tech
Who
this
was it
time.
this time?
It was
a-
Echo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep doing that. I've been
Yeah,
noticing. Yeah, like
the same copy paste joke, and I don't know. Like this is how you take Star Wars is supposed to rhyme too far.
it might just be lazy writing. That like all their problems arise from like Tech
A
really not,
horrible
knowing
lack
it.
of communication between the whole
Yeah.
team.
even though they're supposed to be like the Navy SEAls.
Yeah,
They
this
just
is like
can't.
Space SEAL Team 6.
They're like the Navy
and-
SEAls and the Guardians of the Galaxy put together.
Yeah, kind of. I see that.
Yeah, I can see
The
that
Navy
too.
Guardians, the Guardian SEAls of the
The Guardians
Star
of
Wars
the Navy
Galaxy.
SEAls.
The Guardians of
The bad Guardian SEAls of the batch.
the bad guys.
6.
Six. Plus Omega.
But-
Plus
yeah.
Omega. But it was, I mean, like, I wouldn't say that I liked this episode, but it was just
No.
like I just don't want to see a factory, and I didn't like the colors. I want something more colorful.
Take
Yeah.
it.
I want like, you know, Coruscant in episode 2, just the whole episode 2, how they did that, the lighting of the cameras, the lights, the gels. It was like watching Finding Nemo. Like the battle on Geonosis is great when you've got these blaster shots and the dust storms on Geonosis. I want that stuff brought back to the cinema and to this show. I just like colorful stuff.
I just like stuff that happens on city planets just because I love that whole look and aesthetic.
Wait, that was Ord Mantell, right?
Yeah.
That they were
Yeah,
on.
their station on Woodmanton. Oh,
Or no, was it Corellia? Were they on Corellia or Ord Mantell?
Say
They're
that
on
again.
Ord Mantell.
Say that again.
They're on Ord Mantell.
No. You know what I'm talking about.
It's too late.
What have you said?
I'm just gonna hope everybody in the mix heard that in the mix, and I'll tell you when we're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed this episode. I'm looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward. I hope. I trust the people making the show. I look forward to seeing exactly how much of a burn, fast or slow, the
Get on.
hologram person ends up.
Burning Man.
I'm curious as to how long they try to keep the hologram person a mystery. I want to see because
Probably like the next episode.
I mean, I don't know. We don't,
I am out. It's Admiral Trench.
oh my!
I'm going to help the nation rebellion. And every
Maybe.
way I can.
This is a long shot, but it could be Maul just taking a piss on his old master.
Oh yeah. Well, if it. That is kind of
Well,
funny.
that's the other little bit of like Star Wars news-ish that we didn't cover this week, just because I didn't get a chance to read it yet. Is that the War of the Bounty Hunters comic book story event
Yeah.
started
I
this
didn't
week,
read that.
and I actually highly recommend it. Of what I've heard about it, and the big spoiler at the end is really cool.
Yeah, I saw it on Tal Swift, right? Is that the same one?
Yeah.
And they're like, we know the spoilers, it's fair game. But I didn't expect, because I barely, like, it's just like, I come home from work and I'm like on the drudge. I'm like, but whatever.
That's why I try to get.
I probably wasn't going to read it anyway, but
yeah, well, funny thing, and like it was like a week ago or two that I was talking about this. I don't remember where or to whom. But so the whole premise of War of the Bounty Hunters is somebody stole Han from Boba Fett. Which, like, the premise immediately, I was like, this is something Levi's going to be
Dash
into.
Rendar.
it's not like
Dash Rendar.
it's
It
not
is
like
the
we've-
perfect opportunity to bring back Dash Rendar.
Okay, I don't think I've ever asked you this, Levi. In all honesty, why do you like Dash? Just
Because he's so much better than Han Solo.
why?
He has a cooler ship. He has a cooler companion in Lebo. 20 years ago, he had a good game. It's not good now. He's just so cool. He can do it all, man.
He's less moral than Han is too, because he only
He's a merc.
he gets paid by the rebellion to help them, and
He prefers to get paid by the rebellion. I should say preferred because his story's not canon now.
yeah. Has he worked for the Empire? I don't think he did.
Did Disney do that
Well,
during
I thought
Obama's time?
What?
Wipe the EU from canon?
Yes.
Thanks, Obama, bringing that one back. Haha. Okay. So, like, in the old canon, took down an AT-AT,
Oh, on Hoth, right?
escaped by himself because he was stranded.
That's right.
Took out a swoop bike gang that was going for Luke's head. Not that they would have gotten Luke's head because
Yeah, on
you know.
Tatooine.
Jedi.
Jedi, black robe, green saber version Luke.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, killed one of the IG-88s on Ord Mantell, by the way. Bring him back in Bad Batch because he should be on Ord Mantell.
I wonder if he has an English.
Not
or
right now,
American
though.
accent. I'm gonna help you.
What else did he do? Yeah, he fought Boba Fett to a standstill. He tracked Boba Fett to Gaul Spaceport. Right, so he alerted.
Yeah, you know about Gal.
Yeah, I know about Gaul. So he alerted people where
He left
Boba was.
right before he was gonna engage in battle because, like, yeah, you guys didn't pay me enough, so goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe mad.
And he blew up
Black
Sun.
I would
Yeah.
like
He
to see.
exploded Black Sun.
Well, no, Lando exploded Black Sun. with the
No.
detonator.
No.
How do you consider?
Dash
because by
Rendar.
doing stuff underneath, like in,
Dash Rendar literally blew up Prince Zizor's sky castle, space castle,
he blew up the space. How?
by pulling a Death Star 2.
I thought that he did. I thought he helped blow up his palace on Coruscant.
No, and that is the explosion in which Dash is supposed to have died, but
Yeah.
legends say in Legends
Well, no, he survived.
that
He was just hanging
survived
out.
and he's just like chilling out in space Bahamas now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he survived. He didn't die.
It's like Tupac and Biggie. I would like to see Dash show up in some capacity. I mean,
So
I
War
would-
of the Bounty Hunters, that is the perfect opportunity to bring Dash Rendar into the mix.
the reveal at the end of this issue was that the one who put out the bounty to retrieve Han Solo from Boba Fett was Kira from Solo, Emilia Clarke's character.
I've still never seen the movie.
But why is he bringing him to Jabba? Why is Boba bringing him to Jabba then?
She hired people to take Boba or take Han from.
Oh, I thought you said
No,
that she
she's
put out
trying-
the bounty to take
she's-
Han from. Okay.
No, she's trying to intercept Han from Jabba.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like there's also this really fun little bit of like consistent lore that I also saw. That there's this Trandoshan, I think he's a Trandoshan bounty hunter, at this specific bar in this specific comic, who has showed up in like several other miniseries.
Oh yeah.
Like canonically, he first shows up in like the Darth Maul miniseries, and he's like, "Hey, get out! I don't want your shit." And then like his kid is now running the bar, and he's like, "Listen, this bar runs in my family. This is my dad's bar. He's dealt with all you lunatics," and he's saying this to Luke. And now we flash forward to here, where Boba Fett shows up at the bar, and he's like, "Oh shit, Boba Fett." From the little bits that I have read and have gotten to get through, I'm enjoying it. And even granted, I'm not thrilled that it got spoiled, but
I was hired by a man named Tyrannus on one of the moons of Bogdan.
but yeah, it's
I'll do that job. I guarantee that.
I'm really intrigued by the War of the Bounty Hunter stuff, and we still get to find out how Dirge factors into everything.
Oh fuck! Are they bringing Dirge in?
Yeah,
Holy shit!
we talked about this weeks ago.
Oh, I wasn't here for that. I must not have heard it. Fuck!
I thought you definitely
Oh my
seen that.
god! Dirge. Sorry, I shouldn't be swearing. Yes, thank God it's Dirge. It is Dirge. It's like I killed like hundreds of you Jedi. Like, and after that, all the hostages I'm gonna murder later. The other Padawans I get to kill, and it's only the beginning of the week. And like, yay! We're there on the moon.
Was
They're bringing in
Muscular
Dirge. He's one of my
From
favorites.
My Hero inspired by Dirge?
That would be an interesting deep cut.
Who was
Yeah.
inspired by Dirge?
Possibly some villain from My Hero.
Oh, like
But
who's
I
like
don't
really
know.
long and like artery-ish,
Yeah.
veiny.
Kinda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the musculature nastiness.
He's just muscles.
Yeah,
Why he doesn't die? I mean, he has healing. He's Wolverine, and
yeah. Doesn't he have to like drop him into his son or some shit
yeah,
to kill him?
Anakin put him
Yeah,
into an
that's what I
escape
thought.
pod and like.
That's
dragged
what I
him into
thought.
the sun.
Anakin was just like, goodbye.
Even then, he probably didn't die. He
I don't
probably.
know. I love how that's become like the uniform. Like I have
That,
no idea.
that was in Legends. That was Anakin's trench moment when he like in the comic books, like you see how kind of screwed up Anakin is. Like whenever
Yeah.
he's just like smiling gleefully as he's putting Dirge into the escape pod and dragging it into the sun. That was his Admiral Trench moment from because it was right around. It was like only like a month before Revenge of the Sith anyway. Because it was right before Boz Pity.
Shit, I was about to say I completely lost my train of thought.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I like how in Legends there was this like unofficial like we don't know how to actually kill this person, so we're gonna drop him in a sun and pray. Because like they do it with Dirge, they do it with Darth Crate.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like-
that's right.
Where, like
he
he's
did.
just like he's like I stabbed him in the chest and he's gonna wake up.
I'm gonna wake up Skywalker.
Yeah, it's
What
like,
if he's just a voice in your head, Cade? Well, don't worry about it, man. Like, you know, it's gonna be all right. Like, I wonder what Cade's accent is, because he grew up with these pirate hicks for most of his life after the Ossus got bombed. Like, what? I wonder what he sounded like. He couldn't have sounded like a posh Skywalker or something. Like, he would have sounded like
A posh Skywalker.
yeah, you know, like
Yeah, those
Like pretty
farmers
Skywalker,
were
like sporty
living high
Skywalker.
end.
yeah, because they are. You know, like Tashi Station, it becomes power converters. What? How could you do this? How can you be on the council and not be a master?
I think you're mistaking posh for bitchy.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Anakin had a point, though.
Well, but then it became go my.
Anakin did not have a point.
Anakin had a point.
He was being a petulant little baby.
No.
I love him. I love Anakin. He was being a whiny little shit.
No, not in that instance. There are 13 Jedi in the entire galaxy who get to sit on the council.
I think I have
They
a
should
point.
all be masters.
I have a point.
He shouldn't be on the council, period.
I have a point that's between.
And he still has a point.
He shouldn't. He sounded like a whiny little bastard, but because of how shitty the dirty things the council was doing, it's like, why would he not be given a space on the council? You know, because of all the crap. Like they asked him to spy on the chancellor. This is like a council of a religious body about to telling someone to spy on the president. You know,
Yeah,
like that's what was happening.
yeah.
Like a bunch of Buddhist monks, warrior Buddhist Shaolin monks, were asking someone to spy on Biden.
Shaolin space wizard, cop, cowboy, samurai monks.
Does anyone remember that show, Shaolin
Chancellor
Showdown?
trying to spy on Chancellor Biden.
Only the name.
What if Biden's the Sith Lord?
He's definitely not.
I don't know. I mean,
I think
Palpatine was able to pull it off, like, and
Yeah,
be like a nice little man.
I don't know,
And then-
man. I think Harris is setting up to kill Biden in his sleep. Me too.
Biden is just the affable neoliberal plagueis. Now listen here, listen.
That is how does she even sound?
Listen, man. I only gamble when I know I'm going to win. It helps the economy.
It's not.
But yeah, he's from
gambling.
Minimalist if he's into the economy.
You're gonna win. It's not a gamble.
So
That's what
corn
everybody says to Plagueis when he says it. Like, that's my favorite part of the book. Is that, like, he says that to the crew of the Woebegone, and like the captain, she's like, "That's not gambling." And he's like, "Shame."
Shame.
God
Biden's
damn
a
it.
discount neoliberal. Plagueis. That's good. That's the thing of the day.
Joel, that's the website quote.
Yeah, that's,
Joe
we still do that, right?
Yeah,
Website quote.
You
good,
updated
okay.
it last week. We keep forgetting to, but and the best part is almost every time it's you. Almost every time it's you, and then it just stays some like psychotic shit with zero context for like 3 months, and then we remember to update it. But yeah, I think that's all we got for you guys this week. Levi, where can all the people find you, sir?
Twitter, Levi_Bum.
Yep. And Mike, where can the lovely people find you?
Darthdid415 on Twitter, Miker Derling 45 on Instagram, and Darthdid the Illuminator 45, I think, on TikTok.
I love
And-
Darth Id the Illuminator. Jesus Christ. I love you so
I
much.
took it from Saint Gregory the Illuminator.
I want you to know
he evangelized all the Kardashians, the Armenians.
if you
Without Kim Kardashian, people wouldn't know who the Armenians are. They wouldn't know today. Think about it. But yeah, that and
You can also find me eating
on Mike
food
Dolling
and
on Facebook. What are you gonna say?
nothing, just you're with how much
It's
all
true.
of those atrocities are swept under the rug. I feel
It
like
is very
yeah.
much swept under the rug, but
Yeah.
finally, what
Yeah.
we finally said something to the Turks now, right? I think we did it. Biden
Yeah.
called them out, but then the Turks were gonna say they threw some threat back, but I can't remember.
They were
what
like,
it
well,
was.
if you're gonna recognize
Oh,
our
yeah, we're
genocide,
gonna recognize the Native Americans
your
as
genocides,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah. It's like, well,
like congratulations to everybody for doing the bare minimum
Yeah.
for the wrong reasons.
Well,
Like,
At this point in time, like, couldn't Biden just say, "Well, welcome to the club"?
probably
right, like there's
there should be some sort of like
We
Club.
recognize it. We just don't do anything
We need-
about
Yeah.
it, which is
Yeah.
kind of worse.
like we just need more
Kinda worse in a
monuments
way.
against the stuff.
He did
And then
stop the
this will
Keystone
fully,
Pipeline.
and we need to treat people better. Here's a solution. We need to treat people better.
Oh, yeah, here's
money.
this-
It's like, wow, Mike, really profound.
Okay, we just solved the world, didn't
yes, don't be a dick and
Okay.
celebrate
Yeah.
the people who got screwed over by systemic
Screwing
power
some other
structures.
we? All right, and it's not like there are cultural differences that will.
Make it a lot
Screw
harder to
it
pull
up.
that off.
Yeah,
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552 and the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also check. Hi.
speaking of recognizing genocides,
Yes. You have a new genocide?
the
Did you
French
commit one?
the French president, he just recently came out and said, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, we're kind of shitty for letting Rwanda
I-
happen."
Letting what happen? What happened?
Rwanda.
Oh yeah, well yeah, and the Belgians too. That was a big thing too. The Belgians are really involved in that, weren't they?
They were involved in the Congo.
I
But,
got
yeah.
so scared you were going to try to make that a bit. I got so afraid that was about to be a bit. I'm like, Levi, stop talking right now. And he's like, no, actual political news. I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus, okay. I feel like everybody at home got to watch all of the color leave my face for a second. No, actual atrocities.
Yeah, so like, I think, did he actually call it a genocide?
I didn't hear anything about it. But
I
was it the
actually did
Hutus
not
killing
see
the
this
Tutsis
myself.
or the Tutsis
Really?
killing the Hutus? Which one was it?
I think the Tutsis were being victimized.
Okay. In this round.
Ye old Google.
While Levi Googles that, if you visit our website and you'd be so generous, you can check out our Patreon. Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Case and Brion, the Waffle Wizard, Delta 9, and Zach Canals. You guys help us make the content that we love to produce. Speaking of our Patreon, be sure to consider the $5 tier as well. We get access to the Knights of the Nerd Republic Versus series I was talking about earlier. You will get Galen Merrick versus Mara J, which is up there for May, and then we are recording Ezra Bridger versus Cal Kestis on Monday. I broke Connor's heart. I made two of his favorite Jedi go at it. The only way I could have made it worse is to make it a three-way fight and throw Ahsoka in there too.
Old purple eyes and old blue eyes.
Yep.
Old purple eyes and redhead.
Yep.
During the period of around 100 days, members of the Tutsi minority ethnic group, as well as some moderate Hutu and Twa, were slaughtered by armed militias.
Of which group, though? I guess the Hutus then were doing it against the Tutsis. Okay.
Yeah. Death toll could be as high as 1,100,000, which is a genocide, not an ethnic cleansing. Ethnic cleansing is just.
Well, it could be either.
It could be a forced removal.
Or
yeah, I
right.
think there's a
or even like forcing people to get sterilized. That's also
But,
like an ethnic cleansing.
If the United Nations doesn't want to do anything, which is all the time, then they use the word ethnic cleansing.
They can't necessarily do anything. They're not necessarily like a.
Oh, they can do everything, but they don't want to.
They don't do anything. They're just like
because there are a bunch of different countries with their own agenda. And sending troops into.
That's why I wish aliens would invade to give us like a global humanity finally. Which
half of
nice.
the planet would say that the aliens aren't real and that it's a globalist plot to convince us that like Jesus was a gay alien. Like half of the planet, half of the planet would be like, these are the liberal socialists, and they would use those two words back to back very fucking confidently.
I think sadly you're wrong because I think they'll only half of this country would do it because like. When you look at the rest of the rest of the world,
you're right.
Like,
I'm wrong. You're right. I mean, half of America.
Only half of America. Because it's America, that would make the difference.
Like, the aliens aren't real.
I don't know.
There really aren't.
I think we would be united.
Because the United States would be united.
Dude, we are so obsessed with UFO culture.
Yeah.
Like we are the biggest country that's into it.
This is turning into an episode of Campus Life and a damn good one.
I kind of hope that we have like General Shepard who like gives the aliens like the keys.
Here's my shit, okay? Here's my thing with that. We are obsessed with UFO culture, but also so much of the country is so entrenched in conspiracy thought that like depending on who's in the Oval Office, half of the country is not going to take what it's saying at face value. Like that's just a simple fact. Like the same, like Q pusher, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Looney Tunes are all gonna like do this. Who are like the people who love like the concept of war and like the aesthetics of American might aren't going to go for like the rally around the pole or rally around the flagpole bullshit.
No,
I don't think they will because they'll go like, oh no, it's the liberal communists who want to kill us all and like you know, like I don't know, like build statues to Lil Nas X or some bullshit, like and there'll just be some like culture war, cancel culture bullshit that'll be the answer to the problem.
Are we?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I don't want to answer that question.
I think if there are UFOs in the sky, I think we're gonna be united.
I hope you're right.
When are they gonna come though? I keep hearing reports.
They're not gonna come.
I've heard that the Navy has been like saying that. Like they're beginning these reports from all over the place, like that they don't have enough money or something to like keep track of all these UFOs. Like it's weird. I saw something about that.
Well, we saw stuff like flying into volcanoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just doing research.
The aliens.
Dude, we are ants compared to any alien that can make it to our planet right now.
I think God permits
If they
some
can.
alien species to time travel, but others not yet, or not. I don't think we have that ability yet. I bet other beings do because they're far enough along.
Like at this,
They're allowed.
I don't know. At this point
By the
in
higher
time,
power.
I think you might have to be right because at this point in time of existence,
We're just not there yet.
if any
I don't think.
species is like so far ahead of us that they can do basically like what amounts to hyperspace travel,
That's what it probably is
then
because like they'll have these devices that
they don't care about us. we might be a protected species.
When did all these
Wouldn't that
UFOs
be the funniest shit?
Oh,
In the grand scheme of things, that we're like the human race and Earth is just some like backwater shithole that has like
Yeah.
this specific type
That's
of
what
like
it is.
space red
I also
panda.
think that
Yeah.
Like aliens are like, you cannot invade Earth. Why? Because they're too stupid to invade. It's not fair. It is not kind.
That's
it is not
Lilo and
fair.
Stitch.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
I'm kind of frightened that, like, what if the reason partly the Roman Empire fell was not because of, like, partly it was decaying, but what if also peoples just saw that too sophisticated a lifestyle creates bad things? So, like, what if the barbarians had a point in tearing down the aqueducts because, like, this
The barbarians
were
were
decadence?
No.
You don't think?
No, I think they were just running away from the Huns. And there was this
Don't they
giant
say that the
empire.
Neanderthals were just as smart as we are?
Yeah, they were.
So then why do we sell them so short? What if they were actually living correctly?
Because
Like, what if a hunter-gatherer society is the most psychologically healthy way that a human should live?
because 50
I have
years
a feeling that we are past. There is a time that we were in that was the most psychologically healthy for humans to live in.
Because
And this
100
time is
years
not. I don't
ago-
think it is.
because 100 years ago the common man didn't know that they were like a subspecies of human,
What do you mean?
and
100
we
years
just
ago?
think they're stupid, like cavemen. We used to equate cavemen to Neanderthal. I mean, they were cavemen, but
Well, yeah.
that's
you-
a synonym for stupid
Hmm.
in our common vernacular.
So you're saying you don't think that,
They were smart.
but what's your point though?
I was just answering your first question.
What
I
was
don't
it?
have a point besides that.
Oh, I thought you were trying to make a point.
Nope, just answering your
Aliens are
question.
coming. Look busy.